Hello everyone. Welcome to the following tutorial on APA. We're specifically going to discuss how to properly format your paper and how to create in-text citations and a references page. Let's dive in. APA, which stands for the American Psychological Association, is the required style for graduate level work at Johnson & Wales University. The following guidelines are adapted from the Publication Manual of the American Psychological Association, 6th edition. Let's move into our discussion of how to format your paper. The following are general rules. Your instructor may ask for more specific formatting in your assignment requirements. These apply to your entire paper. Number 1, double space. Number 2, leave 1-inch margins at the top, bottom, left, and right of each page. Number 3, include a half-inch indent at the beginning of each paragraph. Number 4, use 12-point font in Times New Roman. Number 5, use left justification, not right justified margins. Number 6, use numerals to express numbers 10 and above and words to express numbers below 10. Number 7, include a page number in the upper right-hand corner of every page, including the title page. And number 8, create a running head or shortened version of the paper title in all caps at the left margin, in line with the page number. Now to more specific information regarding the title page and the running head. First, the title page. Remember that all information, except the running head, should be centered and double-spaced and end just above the center of the page. The title page contains the following: the running head, the page number, the full title of your paper, your name, Johnson & Wales University, your instructor, and the date. Here now is a sample title page. Sample paper in APA format, John Smith, Johnson & Wales University, Professor Verdi, April 25, 2017. Second, the running head. This can be a bit tricky to format, so we've broken it down. Both the running head and page number are created in the header section of your paper as follows. Note that this is for Microsoft Word. Number 1, click on the Insert tab. Number 2, choose Header, blank. Number 3, choose the Different First Page option. Number 4, locate the page number option and select Top of Page followed by Top Right. The number will appear. Number 5, begin typing the words running head with a colon followed by an abbreviated title in all caps on the right side of the page after the page number. Number 6, remember that the default font for Word is Calibri, so you will need to change the font to Times New Roman. Finally, number 7, tab the running head over so that it is aligned with the top left of the document. Keep in mind, only the number should appear on the right-hand side. No PG or page. All other pages in your paper should contain only the abbreviated title in all caps, no running head, and the page number. Let's take a closer look at how these guidelines appear in an actual paper. What follows is a sample page. How spontaneously have apes used language? In an influential article, Terrace, Petito, Sanders, and Bever, 1979, argued that the apes in language experiments were merely imitating their trainers, responding to conscious or unconscious cues. In fact, funding for ape language research was sharply reduced following the publication of their 1979 article, Can an Ape Create a Sentence? In a later study, Kanzi's abilities to understand spoken language were shown to be similar to those of a 2.5-year-old human, Aaliyah. A recent monograph provided examples of the kinds of sentences both Kanzi and Aaliyah were able to understand. For example, the word ball occurred in 76 different sentences, including such different requests as put the leaves in your ball and go do ball slapping with Liz. Overall, 144 different content words, many of which were presented in ways that required syntactic parsing for a proper response, were utilized in the study. Savage Rumbaugh et al., 2000, pages 101 to 102. In the above example, take note of the following guidelines that have been implemented. The font is Times New Roman, size 12, and there is double spacing throughout. The margins are left justified, and headings are bolded and appear on one line. Lastly, quotes of more than 40 words are offset from the rest of the text. Quotation marks are not used, and the period appears before the citation. We're now ready to move into part 2 of our presentation, creating in-text citations in the references page. First, we're going to talk a little about why we use citations, and then we'll delve into several examples. Whenever you use the words or ideas of others, i.e. sources, you need to A. give the author or authors credit, and B. provide your readers with the exact information they will need in order to locate and access each source. This is known as documenting your sources. Remember, all sources must be cited, even if you are paraphrasing the information. Paraphrasing means to put the author's words into your own. Please see my separate tutorial on how to do so. We'll get into how to cite a source you've paraphrased in just a moment. First, let's look at direct quotations. The use of direct quotations should be limited to crucial information that cannot be reworded. Keep in mind that this is your work and readers expect to hear your voice. When you do quote a source directly, follow these steps. Number 1, always use quotation marks. Number 2, place commas and periods inside the quotation marks. Number 3, place the citation in parentheses outside the quotation marks. The period should follow the closing parentheses as in the following. Quote goes here, Nappa 2017, pages 2 to 15. Number 4, note that, as in the above example, direct quotes are followed by the author or authors, if not named in the sentence, the publication year, if not supplied in the sentence as well, and the page number or numbers. Please note the last bullet, as not all types of material use page numbers, i.e. online material. Number 5, when the author or authors are part of the sentence, follow with the date of publication in parentheses, as in, according to Nappa 2017, quote, writing is a critical skill, unquote, page 12. Number 6, when 3 or more authors are credited to a source, list only the first author's last name followed by the phrase et al., as in Terrace et al. 1979. And number 7, in terms of the page numbers, many electronic sources do not provide them. If paragraph numbers are visible, use them instead, as in Doe 2009, para, period 4. Note the abbreviated para. Here now are 2 examples of direct quotations. According to Lair 2009, quote, renewable energy alone will not solve all problems of climate change. Energy security and local pollution policies must also stress greater energy efficiency, adaptation to existing and future changes in climate, and possibly other options, end quote, page 1. And people usually look to renewable energy to help stop climate change, but, quote, policies must also stress greater energy efficiency, adaptation to existing and future changes in climate, and possibly other options, end quote, Lair 2009, page 1. Next, we're going to look closely at citing your sources when you've paraphrased them. Remember, when you paraphrase, you rephrase the ideas of the original source in your own words. You want to be sure to use as few words from the original as possible, while remaining faithful to its argument. Follow these steps for citing a paraphrase. Number 1, give the author credit and indicate the year of publication. Number 2, use the past tense when referring to a source. And number 3, use ways of citing so that your flow of thought is clear and the citations do not interfere with what you are saying. Let's look at the following 2 examples of paraphrasing. These examples come from Laird FN 2009, Practical Pieces of the Energy Puzzle, a full court press for renewable energy. Issues in Science and Technology, Volume 25, Issue 2, retrieved from issues.org. Number 1, according to Laird 2009, in order to increase our use of renewable energy, we will need to cultivate a workforce of wind turbine installers, solar design engineers, and systems analysts. Or number 2, in order to increase our use of renewable energy, we will need to cultivate a workforce of wind turbine installers, solar design engineers, and systems analysts, Laird 2009. Please note that it is not enough to simply substitute a word or two in a sentence when paraphrasing. Paraphrasing, rather, requires you to fully understand what the author is arguing in order that you can express these arguments in your own words. Note also that when referencing a work in its entirety, page numbers are not used. Before we move on to creating a references page, let's review the following sample citations. Note that these citations cover both direct quotations and paraphrasing. 3 or more authors credited to a source. Bradley et al., 1999, also argued that, quote, no listed author. According to Senator John Kerry, the new rooftop wind turbine lab will help people to decide if turbines can work in an urban setting. New U.S. Rooftop, 2009. Same author for 2 or more sources. Zinn, 1999, insisted that the, quote, concept of race in America is a tangled web brought on by the complex forward movement of history, unquote, page 45. He stressed that this web is complex, but that our current society has the ability to let go of as much of the past as it chooses, 2011. Personal communication. S.L. Smith, Personal Communication, April 8, 2014, indicated that the pain has increased over the past few months. Now we're ready for the references page. A references page is a detailed list of the sources you cite in your paper. Remember that you must not include sources on this page that you did not cite in your paper. Here is a list of items you should take note of for each source. Names of authors, title of work, date published, place of publication, the city and state for the U.S. or the city and country, company that published the work, and volume and issue if applicable. In preparing the references page, here are the general guidelines you must follow. Number 1, begin on a new page at the end of your paper. Number 2, the title references should be capitalized and centered. It should not be bolded or italicized. Number 3, all sources are to be arranged in alphabetical order by the last name of the primary author. If there is no named author, list the source alphabetically by the first significant word of the title. Skip words like a, n, and the. Number 4, use an author's last name and first and middle initials. No professional credentials should be identified. Number 5, double space the entries. Number 6, the titles of books, journals, films, videos, TV shows, and microfilm publications are italicized. Number 7, capitalize only the first word in a title, the first word in a subtitle, and all proper nouns, i.e. a list apart, making the internet. Number 8, there should only be one space after all forms of punctuation. And number 9, the first line of each entry should be placed against the left-hand margin. All other lines in that entry should be indented 1 tab, or what is known as a hanging indent. Let's put this all together, shall we? What follows is a sample APA references page. Please note that the references are double-spaced and that each line after the first has been indented. Note also, number 1, in the first reference, the editor's name, first initial, then full last name, is listed after the source title, and the book from which the source originated is italicized. Number 2, an ampersand is used to separate the last author listed from those who come before him or her. Number 3, journals and periodicals are italicized, as is the volume number. The issue appears directly after the volume, in parentheses, and with no space between it and the volume number. Number 4, the edition, if any, appears after the source title. Number 5, neither P nor double P appears before page numbers. Number 6, DOI stands for Digital Object Identifier. Many electronic databases now provide this information. If there is one available, use it instead of the URL. Please note that the DOI follows the complete citation and is not followed by a period. And number 7, if there is no DOI assigned and the reference was retrieved online, supply the URL of the journal homepage only after the complete citation. Do not add a period after the URL. If you have additional questions or concerns regarding APA, please do not hesitate to contact your instructor or the student writing support specialist. We do hope that you have found this tutorial useful and are ready to tackle the semester ahead. Thank you for joining us.